What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Underground Crypto Deep Dive Show. It's Saturday night, and we can't stop, won't stop on this channel here. Bang, there we are. Make sure you can see me. There we go. Get in the frame, and we are good to go. Here we are over at the Crypto Bubbles, where we love to start the stream, but lately, we have been starting over on TradingView. This is the 4-hour chart for BTC. As you can see, shoulder, head, shoulder, really with the breakdown. There's the measured move, best I know. All right, you should be able to hear me now. Let me fix the camera. No idea why this happens. Of course, the camera was definitely working. I see you're calling me. I got it. Gotta retoggle the camera. All right, there we go. I don't know what the heck is going on. I don't know what you heard, what you didn't hear. Let me fix the microphone. It's probably because I keep hitting the microphone, and that's probably what's going on. How are all my undergrounders doing out there? I have no idea what you heard, what you didn't hear. You guys should be good now. At least fixing it is always relatively easy, but it is very annoying when that happens. What I was saying is that we're closing out our series, our crypto education, IQ raising event about crypto's trust problem. You know, we've been breaking it down. It's kind of one of the most important things in crypto. If you ask me, don't trust verify is kind of a common saying here, just like not your keys, not your crypto. But what does it all actually mean? You know, Monday we started with that big question. Can you trust crypto? Who can you trust in crypto? To be more specific, we talked about custody on Tuesday and why not your keys, not your crypto still matters. Wednesday, we talked about smart contracts and why code can actually break. Thursday, we talked about stablecoins and why stablecoins do not mean risk-free, even if they mean that they're stable. We had a ton of fun yesterday on our DeFi Friday. At least I know I had a blast. Yeah, fine now. Okay, awesome. Thanks. Thank you for letting me know. And you may not know this, but some of the biggest risks are not bad code, right? They're about custody failures, social engineering, centralized control points, and operational security. FTX was not a blockchain problem. How many people really stopped to think about it? Routers reported that the U.S. court ordered FTX to pay $12.7 billion to its customers after the exchange misappropriated customer deposits before it collapsed. Smart contract audits are useful, but Ethereum's own documents warn that audits should not be treated like, you know, the end-all be-all, like the stamp of approval. Chain Analysis estimated that $17 billion was stolen in crypto scams and fraud in 2025. And impersonation scams are up 1,400% year over year, and AI-embedded scams becoming far more profitable than traditional scams. That is why this series really matters. Crypto risk is not one thing, it's a stack of things. And of course, anybody see Velvet up 109%? Let me get you guys over to the crypto bubbles here. That Velvet up 109%. Who saw that coming? Lab down 14%. Velvet went to $1.58. Are we going to see money run from like Velvet? It's got a 666 million market cap. Very interesting. What's Lab's market cap? Lab's market cap currently $5.3 billion. It's a lot of money. At some point, it kind of hits a pressure point, right? And people kind of get out and move to the next thing that has a lot more upside. You know, every time Lab pumps and pumps and pumps, it has less and less upside. Unless it's an amazing product, it's going to always demand, capital, which is possible. Hello, hope everyone is doing well. Prime Minister in the house. This is the actual Prime Minister of Japan, for anybody who didn't know. What's up? What's up? Welcome in. Welcome in. I love how when more people come in, it still says the same amount of people are here. Never makes any sense. We toggle our 1 through 1,000 here as we kick off the stream and wait for a few people. There we go. It jumped up now. And it doesn't look like anything crazy. It looks pretty flat, right? 1 through 100's up 0.5%. Not even a 1% negative or positive here across the top 1,000. That should tell you everything you need to know. It is average per 100, right? We got Piverse up 26.7%. Solstice up 20%. BAS, or Basic Attestation Service, up 23%. Sky AI continuing to fall. I want to look at Sky AI on more like the week, month. It seems like it's like pumping and falling and pumping and falling. We did have this nice pump up to 46 and you're already back down to 25. Looks like there's quite a bit of volatility here, right? BTW, or Bitway, has just been straight to the bottom here today. Let's look at that week. Yeah, the week has lost a lot. I mean, it's up 361% on the month, but man, from that top of like, what is that, 18.5 cents or so? It's very tiny on my screen, but it was about 18 cents. Let's drop down another 100 as we keep a pulse on what is going on in the market. For anybody who's here, please smash that like button as we kick off this Underground Crypto Deep Dive show on a Saturday night. I really appreciate it. SNX up 16%. Pharaohs is up 18.5%. This is 2 to 300 by market cap. Syrian up 15%. Rave DAO up 17%. No, Rave DAO, go away. That's how I feel about it. We've watched this thing do all kinds of things. Let's go look at the year, right? The all-time chart. Look at that. Ran up to $22 and now is back at 27 cents. And that's even a little bit of a pump on the day. Rave DAO. Not looking great. Looking like a pump and dump, that's for sure. Sonic, previously FTM, up 11%. Forgot to say that part. Hot. Hot is Halo. Wait, did I read it wrong? No, it's hot, but it's also Holo. Halo. I guess it's not Halo, it's Holo, right? Anyways, moving on. Let's go take a look at our price rundown. Let's refresh it, make sure we have the latest numbers. Look at that overall market cap, 2.16 trillion, down 0.3%. Bitcoin, $60,194 with what, a 0.3% in the last 24 hours to the upside. Ethereum, 15,076, still down almost 10% in the last 7 days. BNB, $557. XRP, $1.05, still holding above $1 for this moment. I'm sure it's dipped under at some point. Yep, please don't forget to slap the crap out of that like button. Best mod in the game, thank you very much. Sonic used to be the king of DeFi, it's true. Founders ruined the project, used to love Sonic. Well, it's sad, but you know, people they get together and they do things, and sometimes it's highly positive, sometimes it is not. Solana, $70.85. We got Hyperliquid, $62.02. Dogecoin, 7.5 cents. Still holding above 7 cents. I guess I'll take that for now. Zcash, $401. Canton Network, 15 cents. Stella, Lumen, 17.5 cents basically. I'm rounding slightly here. Monero, $312. Chainlink, $7.30. Cardano, 14.5 cents. Lab, right this moment at $16.74, and again with a 5.2 billion market cap, number 22 by market cap. Toncoin, $1.57. It's up 1.6% today. Litecoin, $42. Avalanche, $6.40. Avalanche, not doing so hot in my opinion. Sui, 68 cents. Sui not even doing really great, but I just don't see SWE completely fading off in all irrelevance, but it could happen. It's definitely been bigger shocks here in crypto. Yeah, true, exactly. Thank you everybody for being here, by the way. I appreciate all my undergrounders showing up for what is a little bit later stream on a Saturday. Let's take a look at what's trending here. We have this Dias. I'm not even going to try to say this. Okay, I'll try to say it. Ex Marquina. I don't know what that is. But it's got $15.8 million in market cap, and we will take a look at it. It does have a 7-day percentage, so it's been around for a little bit. Velvet, of course, just up 220% in the last 7 days. It's pretty nice. Solstice up 136% in the last 7 days. Lab, Bitcoin, XRP, all these are trending on CoinGecko. XRP, Ethereum, Toncoin, Beat, SWE. Wait, not SWE. Uniswap. Where did I get SWE from? Crazy. Hyperliquid, Ronin. We were talking about quite a bit yesterday on DeFi Friday. Aave, which was really interesting because Aave had all of that bad press and bad FUD with the exploit or hack or whatever it actually was. I do remember reading the specifics. I just don't remember them all right now. A lot of coins to keep track of. And I tend to remember things that I hold a lot better. I noticed that. And I don't hold any Aave. But anyways, then all of a sudden we had this like really kind of bullish, weird, I don't know, article, news circle come out where they were saying this one bank is really bullish on Aave and they see it going to $3,500 by the year 2030. Like they gave like this obscure far off date 2030, which, you know, in the world of crypto that moves incredibly fast, nobody's going to remember that in 2030. Anyways, and then all of a sudden it started getting a little bit of a pump. At least that's how I saw it. Solana, Pudgy Penguins. Let's take a look at this top coin here, because I don't know what it is. It's got a little bit of capital here. Let's go to the max chart. Make sure we're on price. So we had that blockchain issue recently. Other than that, I'm sure it'll rebound. Yeah, it's cheap right now. I think I might have to scoop a little bit more of it. That's for sure. I don't have a huge bag of SWE like I wish I did. But now is a good time to get some, right? I think it's under what I bought it at originally. Not by much. Maybe by like 10 or 15 cents. Anyways, this Ex Marquina, hopefully I'm saying that right, is up 15.8%. It's got a base in Solana and PQ. Contracts, very interesting. Let you know what, blockchains they're running on. Robotics is what they're claiming here. Let's go check out the website. Decentralized access to humanoid robotics. Get early exposure to the world's leading robot companies before they disrupt trillions of dollars in industries. And this is where we got to think smart, right? Do we believe that these humanoid robots, I'm calling them, robonoids or something like that, but do we think that they're going to disrupt industry? Absolutely. These workers, I've already seen tons of videos of them doing things that you would think they were not able to do, like fixing a car, mechanics taking a wheel off of a car, stuff like that, where it's like a lot of people say like, oh, AI is not going to take this job. Well, if you combine AI with robotics, like you might have your job taken quicker than you think you are, right? So with all that being said, like I was saying, what I was getting at is like being smart here. It's like, yes, I do believe that these things are going to disrupt. Is this Ex Marquina going to give you access and be legitimate and stuff? Who knows? Who knows what this is, right? So we'd really have to do our research here. But they have a good idea. Like investing in the people who make these. I don't know. Is it Tesla? Elon Musk? Who do we got to invest in? So definitely keep an eye on that. Maybe it's worth a deep dive at some point. Looks like about the 27th of May, 2026 here. And then it's mostly fallen, getting a little bit of a pump right now. If you go to like the monthly, or really like the 7-day, there you go. You can see it's kind of started to get a little bit of a pump. And that's probably why it's trending. Velvet, of course, the elephant in the room. This thing has been pumping like mad. Let's go to the max chart, see where this coin came out at. All the way back like July 10th, 2025. And look at these pumps. At one point, there, let's zoom in. At one point, it ran all the way to $1.54 and pulled back to 34 cents and then just went with the run up again. And it's broken its previous all-time high. So you're in price discovery right now. This thing is rather going to correct hard, in my opinion, relatively quickly. or it's just going to go into price discovery. 651.7 million. Why are people loving this? Why are people unable to get enough of this? I'm not sure. AI has already disrupted some jobs, so you're definitely on point with that one. Yeah. And it's going to continue to, because, I mean, a lot of what AI has disrupted so far has been like things that it can do, right? Like writing articles, just whatever, right? That it could easily do. Now you start combining it with robotics and really give it like a physical application. I don't know if anybody's going to have a job, right? It's going to be universal income or something, which is not, could be done well, but is most likely not going to be done well. Everybody will just be like on some kind of government subsidized income or something. It's going to be weird. B&B contract, base contract for Velvet. It is AI. Speaking of AI applications. And let's go ahead and look at velvet.capital here. Trade like a pro with AI Copilot. I think the big takeaway here is they have an easy on-ramp. They have an easy on-ramp for people to use some of their AI stuff. Trade smarter, win bigger with AI, right? They got your trades, your perps, your trenches, which is like a launch pad, right? Bunch of things going live. You got yields. Got a lot of stuff. I said the first time that we looked at that it looked nice. It had a lot of stuff put together. It had a few things that I don't particularly see on a lot of different, what do we want to call these? It's more than a decentralized exchange. It's a launch pad. It's got the trade-in, the perps, the launch pad, the yields, trackers, and AI integration. You know what I mean? It's got a lot of stuff going on here. I don't know what we even call it anymore. I wouldn't call it a super app. But I could see why people who are bullish on AI, already in crypto, maybe don't really know how to get any of the AI stuff working on their own. They're going to be running to places where you can easily onboard, and that's something I'd be watching for. You see a new project come out and it's easy onboarding and like has an AI agent built into it that you can easily use that does something useful, people are going to flock to it, right? Yeah, companies feel like they save more money just paying a bot, and they do. They save more money. It doesn't argue. You can give it a new task. It doesn't whine. Doesn't talk about how it wants to work from home in its pajamas at every board meeting. You know what I mean? Makes me want the bots over real employees, right? And what else is worth looking at here? Not a lot. We know most of these. We'll move right along. Let's take a look at that Fear and Greed Index at 18. So we're moving up a little bit. But we're not quite out of that extreme fear, right? To get out of the extreme fear, you got to like hit 25 and up. Yesterday it was 15, so we ticked up a little bit. 7 days ago, 23. A month ago was 23. So we've been down in the fear, if not extreme fear, for a while now. And of course, you got your nice bar graph down here. You can see here we were at 29, which is still fear. It's just not extreme fear. And, you know, that was the 30th of May. You can come all the way back here where we had a high. 47, right? And 47 would put you in what? The neutral zone? And that's just in between fear and greed. Makes you feel like you're headed to greed, but it's really just more of an indecision, in my opinion. It kind of reminds me of the altcoin index, right? It gets in the middle between altcoins season and Bitcoin season. It's like, it's not really an either. It's just kind of in limbo. It doesn't mean you're moving to altcoin season. And that's exactly what happened. We came right back down. Canopy Network. Wonder what that is. So here we are. Let's make it the top 20, not the top 10. And this is what is trending over on Crypto Rank. But of course, before we even get into that, we got to raise that crypto IQ. You know how we do. You know what it's all about. No emotions, right? Yeah, it's all business. There's no emotions in business. So what's the problem here? We're wrapping up the series. We've been talking about the trust problem in crypto. Let's see if we can do a good job of wrapping it up. Hopefully you've been here for most of the week. Crypto has one of the most powerful ideas in finance. Don't trust, verify. Sounds great. And that phase is part of what made crypto different from everything else. Instead of trusting a bank to hold everything for you, you got self-custody. Instead of trusting a broker to settle everything, you have blockchain, immutability a lot of the times, if not transparency on everything. It's a big difference. Instead of trusting a middleman to approve things, you add the blockchain. Crypto introduces systems where users could verify transactions, hold their own keys, interact with code, and move value without asking permission from traditional gatekeepers. And that might not sound powerful until you start talking about moving value across the entire world wherever you want without gatekeepers. That's different. But somewhere along the way, a lot of people started treating Trustless like it meant riskless, which in a new emerging technology, probably not the most genius person to believe that there's just all of a sudden no risk. And that's where the problem begins. And that's where we really picked up the series, right? Because crypto still has risks, it just shows up differently. So that was the problem. Now let's get the shift. This week we looked at where the risk hides. We want to find the snakes in the grass so we know where they lie. With custody, the question is who controls the keys. With smart contracts, the question is, can the code break, be upgraded, is it immutable, or does it depend on something else in the background? With stablecoins, of course, the question is, what is it pegged to? Who issues the coin, and can the funds be frozen? Do they cooperate with law enforcement? Big difference between USDT and USDC, and even that's changing quickly in that landscape, because I believe even USDT will work with whatever world government wants to freeze the money, good or bad, right? Because a lot of times it's actually a good thing. It's probably a very small sliver of people who really didn't do anything and get their accounts frozen. With GameFi, the question was, is the economy real, sustainable, and worth trusting? Is GTA 6 going to put some crypto in it? I sure hope so, but I don't think that actually happened. Crypto does not remove trust completely. It moves trust into a new place. Sometimes trust moves into code. Sometimes the trust is in the keys. Sometimes it's in the issuers, in the contracts, in the bridges, in the exchanges, in the communities, and of course, sometimes you're trusting your own human behavior, which can lose more money than anything else a lot of the time. But the payoff, the positive, the upside, if you will, is the point is not to tell people crypto is too risky, right? The point is to teach people how to think, and that's what we're really trying to do, raise that crypto IQ so you can kind of see the landscape for what it is, again, the snakes in the garden, without always having to rely on an influencer every moment of the day to tell you go left, go right, go up, go down. As a beginner, they think, is this safe? A smart crypto user asks, who has to be true for this to stay safe? Like, what has to be true? That's what I mean. Like, what has to stay consistent for everything to stay what I was told it is? Who controls it? Can it break? Can it ever be changed? How can I verify it? We had this problem recently with Zcash, right? We had an exploit where potentially somebody could have made as many coins as they wanted, but we can't verify if anybody did that or not because of the privacy side of it, which is problematic in a weird way. They really set them up for that. If it was a bunch of made up FUD, they really set them up. What is hidden? What is the benefit? And what happens under stress? That is the real crypto IQ upgrade. Crypto is powerful because it gives users more control, more transparency, and more access. But those benefits come with a responsibility. You'll learn very quick in the land of decentralization and how many people really, they do want somebody to govern their life. They want somebody to tell them what to do, when to do it, how to do it, what they can and can't do. And then they want to fall in those rails and not have to think much for themselves. If that's you, welcome in. Crypto probably isn't for you though, but you could always raise that crypto IQ. So the final lesson of the week is simple. Trustless doesn't mean riskless. It means that you have to learn where the risk is in the scenario. Let's get back to what's trending over on Crypto Rank as we introduce the finale of our stream tonight. We have Khaled AI, Canopy Network, or orthogonal. I wanted to read that like 4 different ways. Okay, I guess it's orthogonal. Velvet Capital, which we touched on. Dog with Hat. You should probably know that one. Cap Aleph or Elf. Man, I haven't seen that thing in a long time. Cajun, Syrup, Solstice. Anybody remember Aleph? There was another one that was similar. OG Labs, we haven't seen that in a while. We remember when that thing came out. Artificial Superintelligence, or FET, love to see that trending because I own a little. Polysite, which is a new coin. When you see NA, that means no token yet. Bitcoin Cash, ORN, which we talked about recently, Lab, Cambridge, Bonk, and Spark on the radar. All right, let's take a look at this Colette AI. Colette AI is a platform designed for the collection and preparation of data sets used in training, artificial intelligence models. They've raised $12 million. We could read a lot of really technical stuff here. The service acts as an intermediary between content right holders and AI research laboratories. Sounds like somebody knows a little something about the industry, right? And somebody built something that is probably very useful to infrastructure, but to the regular retail, probably lost on us exactly how that is valuable. So we have this Canopy Network has acquired Tenacity Network. So why are they trending? Shouldn't Tenacity be trending if they just got acquired? Anyways, Canopy Network is raised $8.5 million. Canopy Network is a recursive framework with restaked security mechanism for launching sovereign layer 1 applications specific to blockchain. And you got to really be in the sauce a little bit, raising that crypto IQ to really understand why restaking is a big deal. A lot of people will not understand why somebody would give you yield on a coin that you already staked, and then you get a coin because you staked it, and then you stake that coin. So now you're double staked. Why would they do that? Security. Prime Minister says all true facts. Man, I love that you're getting a lot out of this show. You definitely are the type of person who this show is built for. Welcome to the Underground Crypto family again. 4.3 million, this orthogonal, is an AI structure layer providing service discovery, task orchestration, and on-chain payment solutions for autonomous agents. So it's very AI agent focused. Infrastructure platforms developing a discovery, orchestration, and payment layer for autonomous AI agents. X402 protocol, anybody? Let's see, did they give it that? No, they don't have that. They have payment. Oh, I spoke too quickly. X402 protocol. See how like I've been raising my own crypto IQ? See the payoff? I could just read that when it comes to like payments and AI agents, and I just immediately go, oh yeah, that's X402. If they're smart, like they're gonna go with that X402 protocol. CAP, here's a good one that was new the other day. CAP is a stablecoin protocol with interest bearing built on Ethereum. And by a good one, I just mean like one that we've looked at recently. 41.9 million, been as high as 59 million. Very interesting, because if you look at the chart, you'll see it was way higher, way up here. And these are day candles, right? This is a daily chart. So up here at the all-time high, that was 59 million. And here, way down here, right, is 41 million. That's only like a very small gap. Look at this gap in the chart, though. This is weird. See that gap? That's very strange. Anyways, CAP, right? A stablecoin protocol. Interest bearing built on Ethereum. Aleph. We got to check this out. Let's check out how long ago Aleph came out. This thing is not new. Let's put it that way. Go to the monthly chart. 2018. The 1st of August 2018. That was a while ago. It's at 55 million. It's been as high as 845 million. Will it ever come back? I have absolutely no idea. It's got tags like cloud service. It's Ethereum ecosystem. Aleph is a multi-layer, multi-chain blockchain ecosystem for various commercial requirements. So it seems like you maybe have regulation wrapped up with blockchain for commercialization, and they kind of lead you through it. You'd partner with them, and they'd kind of get you where you need to go. Polysite, there's quite a few companies like that, actually, that they take care of basically navigating the regulation in a space when old companies that are well established move into a new space. They're going to look for people who they trust to navigate the regulation and all of that stuff, who they believe are really on point in a space, right? If that makes sense. Thanks, bro. Appreciate you doing these streams with a positive outlook on everything. Absolutely. You are more than welcome. I appreciate you showing up because, you know, without you, I'm just talking to myself in my room. It's you guys who make this an underground crypto community. Polysites is an AI-driven analytics platform providing market intelligence, wallet tracking, and trading signals for prediction markets. So, with a name like Polysite, who is surprised that it has to do with prediction markets, right? They've only raised $1.5 million. They do have backers like YZI Labs, but nothing really all that mentionable after that. I mean, Maven 11, you do see that one quite a bit. It is a tier 2. I really do like, sometimes I take a minute to point out features because we talk a lot about UX and usability, dashboard, these things matter. When you go from CoinGecko to CoinMarketCap and even, you know, Crypto Rank and different things, they have certain things that we like better than others. I really like how they have all of the, you know, venture capitalists, angel investors, corporations, and things that are involved, right? Look at this. Amazon is in there. Why would Amazon be in there? They have something to do? They just investing? Or they have a venture capital arm? Or are they just going to integrate some of this Polysite stuff into their company? See, these are little insights that you can get. I really like that they put this, and then they put them in tiers, right? So you can kind of know who the top dogs are that matter and who don't, because who has the time to go look up every single one of these and figure out who they are? I know that I don't, as much as I love to do stuff like that. A dream doesn't become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, hard work, and success. It's no accident. It's hard work, perseverance, learning, sacrifice, and love of what you are doing, says the Blues guy. Welcome in. Great to see you. It was awesome to talk to you today and catch up. And just really love it when you're able to make it to the show, brother. Thank you for being a part of this community. So that's Polysite's Ethereum Classic on here at $7. I remember I bought some Ethereum Classic. I don't even remember. Back in the day, it was cheap. It was like $2. I wrote it up to like 28 bucks. Sold it around like $25, and then I never thought about Ethereum Classic ever again. But remember, Ethereum Classic does have their testnet and stuff that they're putting out, so they're building some stuff. It'd be really interesting to see what happens. Blues Guy also says gratitude is not an exertion of the will. Okay, it's an overflow of a sense of being treated better than you deserve. Absolutely, we call that mercy. Somebody treats you, if you like do somebody wrong and you deserve to get the stick, you know, you deserve to get the bad side of them, and they still give you the good side of them, that's mercy. So total raise, 38.7 million. It's a decent chunk. What is it? Financial infrastructure. Okay, that makes sense where the money came from. Backers like Andreessen Horowitz, which they do give a top tier. I would imagine they would. Galaxy. Anybody else worth mentioning? Doesn't look like it. So financial infrastructure and marketplace platform providing pricing, benchmarks, and capacity aggregation for the AI compute economy. You'll notice I always read it as AI computation economy because I feel like that lands a little bit better. But anytime you see compute, we're talking about computation. And if you don't know what any of that is, that's resources for AI normally when you see that written. Giving you guys all the sauce I got every day that I can. Cambridge is some other company. Cambrian Network, probably associated. Backers like Polychain Capital Ventures, right? And AI16Z Incubator, which is very interesting. Cambrian Network is an AI infrastructure protocol that turns on-chain and off-chain data into rapidly accessible financial intelligence. We've got tags like infrastructure, data service, artificial intelligence, and API. Actually just had to explain to my wife today what the heck API even means. So it's a good thing I do this show, right? Or I would have no idea. Cambrian Network is an AI infrastructure protocol that turns... Yeah, we just read that. I was hoping to have a little more insight here. It did get the gears turning a little bit, right? Because I want to go look at this. This is a little bit... I don't know. It's all crypto, so it's not really off topic, but it is something that I want to go. You have this AI16Z. And the other day I saw AI16Z and I had some questions. So let's see if we can get them going here. Because you have AI16Z. And then they had moved to being ELIZA operating system, kind of like AI16Z was an AI agent kind of thing, right? And then they decided, well, we want to go bigger than just AI agents, right? We want to go AI agent operating system, like not just the agent, but like the operating system that it operates on. And then it got weird because then we had AI16Z right here. Okay, see, I'm not crazy. AI16Z has been rebranded as ELIZA OS, right? Which would be ELIZA operating system. That's what the OS stands for. And so, I mean, you see it, the coin's pretty much dead. I don't know why the coin wouldn't be dead, right? Because, of course, it's an old contract. So you get to the new contract. So we go to ELIZA OS. I'm always copying and pasting everything so I don't have to type. I hate typing. I'll voice to text everything. So then you get ELIZA OS, right? But what happened? Right? Like, what happened? People sold this thing off 4.4 million. Now, of course, you're not going to see, I should have duplicated here and kept the other one up. I guess I can just go back, right? I'm just doing a little deep diving. Don't mind me. It's kind of what I do here. All-time high. I don't really care about the number. I care about the market cap. So let's go to market cap. Speaking of features and UX and usability, like you can just highlight a certain part of the chart and it immediately zooms in. Very, very nice. Okay, so this is like what I'm trying to get at, right? ELIZA16Z at one point ran up to a $2.5 billion market cap. $2.5 billion market cap. Now, of course, right now it's like less than $500,000, but it did move to another contract. So you would expect like a majority of that liquidity to be somewhere else. Let me refresh this. I'm going somewhere. So what were they at market cap? Okay, so that's what happened. Everybody sold this off. And before they switched to a new coin. Yeah, but see, even before like they switched to a new coin, I wish I had a date on this. Where exactly? I would say it was probably somewhere like right here. They were still pushing like $30 to $50 million in market cap. And then they moved contracts over to ELIZA OS, which seemed like a brand new, way better idea, right? And then they only have like, they immediately came, they moved over with about $8 million dollars in market cap, and now they're at 4.4. So my point here is it's very weird to see a coin like this kind of absolutely in the dumps, and then to see them actually like investing, right? AI16, unless this is totally separate. Is this unrelated? Nah, you got the AI16Z crypto, but they have an incubator, you know? You would think that they're a failed project. Why would they be incubating anything? Did they just get a little bit of money and they decided they would go venture capitalist? Just interesting questions. I definitely, down this rabbit hole that I'm talking about here, I got way more questions than I have answers. Like, how is AI16Z a tier 1 incubator? You know what I'm saying? They have 42 investments. I wish that was clickable. Oh, I wish you could just click and see everything that they invest in. That would be really cool. But anyways, yeah, it's fine. Maybe we could get something out of their Twitter here. So this is just the normal AI16Z. We back bold entrepreneurs building the next internet. Posts are not investment advice. Yeah, not financial advice is what they're trying to say. Oh, this looks creepy as heck. What is this? What is that weird door ring bell camera? I don't know. It definitely grabs your attention, though. I was wondering what the heck was going on. Handful of ideas hold up in the entire digital world, but most of us have never learned where they came from. So we went to the source, the people who saved these problems and won, turning awards and Nobel Prizes for it. So they're interviewing somebody who's real smart, got Nobel Prizes. Korean institutions are still learning what blockchain infrastructure can do in practice. Is AI16Z like a Korean thing? It does make sense. Asian market, they always use like an anime girl as their mascot. Anyways, we went on a little bit of a rabbit hole. You never know what you're going to learn here. Like the other day when we learned that Mega ETH was on the year making more revenue than Monad, which I guess if you didn't see our series on Monad kind of versus Mega ETH and how they're doing the same thing, but they're coming from two totally different angles in the way that they do it, then you might not understand why we're talking about that, or why revenue on a blockchain even matters. So much crypto IQ raising to do around here. I'm going to be busy for many, 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 many years. My job will never be done. Spark. And I say it, I've been saying it a lot lately. I'm on one. What can I say? Spark is a DeFi platform offering on-chain savings and lendings with transparent rates. So it's financial. It's DeFi, which stands for decentralized finance. And let's take a look at their chart. It's not great. I bought $50 of this at one point, and I have no idea. You know, like I was like, oh, this looks cool. Maybe I'll start DCAing in it. It's really quite popular. We were in a really good spot for crypto. I was like, I'll buy a little bit. So I bought $50, and then it never did good ever again. And so I just didn't even ever DCA into it again. That happens sometimes. Of course, when it's down low, that's usually the time to buy it. Take a look at our top gainers, top losers. Here we are. Blockworks, by the way. If like you have any particular data things you want to look at, there's so much on here. I would love to do a whole stream on Blockworks. Pretty cool. So top gainer of the day, of course, is gonna be Velvet. What happened? Did Velvet fall? Let's go take a look. It was up 109%, 106%. So this says on the day it's up 106%. Blockworks says no, they're up 38%. Let's refresh it. It might not be refreshed. There we go. That's what it was. Velvet up 105%. BNB attestation service up 27%. Is very interesting. All right, what was I doing? Sorry, losing my train of thought. Must be late. Solstice Finance, SLX, up 16%. Let's go to loser. Sky AI, we have this Onyx coin. Why is that so familiar? And you know, I don't usually click on a lot of coins here, so I'm not used to their analytics. One thing right off the bat, just kind of, again, going back to judging the UX, because you use something, right? I think this is highly overlooked. Usability from a consumer point of view. I would be the consumer, and I click on a coin and this is what I get. So we got to look at it. Is that good? First of all, they do kind of the same setup as CoinGecko, where I have my tokenomics right here. Huge fan of that. Total supply, circulating supply, and it's even put into, like, you know, they put an M, they put a B, like, you know, you can see this is 10.6 million. On CoinGecko, they don't always do that. Like on CoinGecko, you just get a big number, and if you're not quick with it, you'd have no idea that it's $11 billion, right? Anyways, I digress. That's nice. That makes it a lot quicker. The quicker and faster you can read and gather information, the more useful it is to you, in my humble opinion here. What else do they give us? Newsletter, Blockwork research. That sounds really cool. Wonder if that's a free thing. I would subscribe to that. Still very much exploring Blockworks, but they have a lot of cool insight. Now, we did our top losers, top gainers. ApeCoin. Man, ApeCoin had a little bit of pump the other day. I was like, whoa, is an NFT project going to do something? Is Ape going to reclaim its #1 spot? And then it looks like it gave most of it back, right? Here's the 7-day. This would be the little bit of a run-up that I was talking about to about 15 cents. And now you're at 13.7. So you can give it all back. But you're definitely doing at least a fib retrace before another pump if it's not completely over here. We'll have to keep an eye on that. I don't own any ApeCoin, just so people know. That would be awesome to do a stream about Blockworks. Yeah. Should I do a live stream about Blockworks, or should I do like a pre-recorded video where I go over everything that Blockworks has to offer? Because if you want to get to a lot of the real stuff, you go to analytics, go to dashboard. And by real stuff, I just mean tons of different data sets. What we normally look at, where you see me go to the revenue for chain. I've showed this a couple of times now, but I find it just immensely interesting. Is that, well, I zoomed in way too much. Down here, you can zoom in, you can pull all the way over. The most recent day I'm going to get is the 26th, which is yesterday. It's blockchain revenue, if you don't understand. So like yesterday, for example, Tron made the most money in crypto as a chain. They made $858,000. With Hyperliquid only making $495,000. But then we have so there you have it in a chart. You have it. This is like median transaction fee, right? So I don't usually go into that because I feel like that's a little bit over people's head. But if you come down here, they break it down where they just give you the numbers directly. Like I can go to 7 day. Like up here you have individual day, and you could look, say I wanted to know exactly like 3 days ago what each chain did. But then you come down here and you can just toggle. This is already on the 7 day, right? And you do have to click revenue, so it puts it in order for whatever reason. You know who made the least amount of money in the last 7 days? Fogo. Fogo made $14. I don't want to laugh at it. I want Fogo to do well at some point. But it is very new. But if you go to the year, you can see who's winning this race in the revenue. I mean, money talks, BS walks, bullshit walks, right? You've probably heard that saying at some point. Hyperliquid is crushing it, and Hyperliquid is getting attention from people outside of crypto in the higher echelons of finance because they made $772.3 million this year in just revenue, right? Not including anything else that they sell related to the foundation, right? Just in revenue of fees and stuff. Now, to be fair, did all of that money go directly to Hyperliquid? I don't know. I didn't read their white paper, right? I could probably ask ChainGPT to do that if we were so inclined. But the point is, Hyperliquid on top, way on top. It's less than double Tron, but it's close, right? Double Tron would be 870 million, right? And it's 772. It's close. BNB third, a nice third. Oh wait, it's not toggled, sorry. Solana is 2, Tron is 3. I don't like that they don't put them in order. That's kind of annoying, but you can just click on it. My fault. Anyways, doesn't really matter. Hyperliquid's crushing it. You have Solana coming in second and Tron coming in third. Tron is really all about the fees, just moving USDT around the world. That wasn't what I came here to say, but that's what we've been talking about a lot. If you come over to the side, you have crypto ETFs and all kinds of different things. Man, we could get into a lot of stuff. Treasury company, layer 1, layer 2. Like if you were really, really into something specific, like you built a portfolio of layer 1s and you just really wanted to know how layer 1s were doing. Like here's fun. Let's go look at Fogo. Network revenue, absolutely terrible. I mean, you're talking $27, $30, and then it's dropping. It's dropping. They had days where they made $1. One of those days, it was probably me. They probably made my dollar. I might have been the only person using Fogo on some of these days. That's crazy. Again, it's the fees, right? Not how much money you moved around. Spot, decentralized exchange volume. So you can see the volume. So like if you were like, I think Fogo's cool. I like what they're doing. I like staying signed in and not paying fees all the time. Here's a really good example though. Let me point this out because this just connected for me. It's Saturday night. I might talk a little bit here off topic. But Fogo's whole thing is you stay logged in, you sign transaction. For anybody who doesn't know Fogo, well, this is not it. This Fogo phishing is like a miner. Not for Fogo, but for this fish app, but it uses Fogo, right? So you can come to your wallet and you can go to session. This is my main takeaway here. Session has expired. I can go to 1 week, right? And I can hit update limits. And this will keep me logged in. Apparently I'm not logged in, but that'll keep me logged in for a week. And because I'm logged in for a week, I don't have to constantly keep paying, fees for signing in and all of this stuff. That's kind of the point of Fogo. So now that I think about it, it makes perfect sense that their revenue would be very low because it doesn't seem like they're here for revenue. And it integrates directly into my Soulflare wallet, right? So it's very Solana. And it's really easy to move money in and out of my Fogo wallet connected to my Soulflare. It's a nice product, but it's not built for making revenue fees. It's actually built to eliminate most of your revenue fees, I guess. Very interesting. Anyways, those are my thoughts. Let's get back to raising that crypto IQ, everybody. Let's hit a little bit of drink here. So, trustless means reduced trust, not zero trust. When people call crypto trustless, they mean the system can reduce the need to trust certain centralized middlemen. It means you're getting rid of centralization, which also means you just get rid of the old problems and create some new ones. For example, a blockchain can let users verify transactions through consensus instead of relying on one company's private ledger. What is consensus? Consensus is the manner in which a blockchain works, right? Proof of work is a consensus. Proof of stake is a consensus. Proof of liquidity is a consensus. Proof of useful work, useful liquidity, and on and on and on and on. It's whatever idea or evolution of ideas that a new layer 1 or crypto blockchain is using to run their blockchain. Just want to make sure people know what consensus means. It's not just the meetup, right, that they do every year. That is a major innovation. But users still rely on things like software wallets, right, private key security exchanges, smart contracts, bridges, stablecoin users, front-end websites, oracles, right, data feed, think Chainlink, project teams, and information sources. There's a lot of points of trust here. So the word trustless is a little bit misleading. It does not mean that there is no trust anywhere, though, and that's kind of what I want to make sure that with this, we're trying to find places where we can have problems. We're not trying to say, oh my God, there's so many fires everywhere, be scared, run, naked off into the woods. That's not what we're saying. We're just saying, let's stop and think about a few things as we watch this space evolve and raise our crypto IQ so that we can be better speculators in the market. That is the idea. That is the big idea here for the channel, amongst having a great community of people to share, your time, energy, and hard work and research with. Crypto does not erase trust. It redistributes it, right? It shakes everything up from the centralized way that we were doing things. I was about to go on a big tangent and I stopped myself. You should be very proud of me. Every crypto product has a trust map. Before using a crypto product, you ask yourself, where is the trust map? A trust map is simply the list of things that must work or comply correctly for the product to be safe and useful. Basically, how does it work? What does it need? And then you know what can go wrong if it breaks. Does that make sense? I'm trying to simplify this for you. For an exchange, the trust map includes custody, solvency, security, withdrawals, and regulation. Remember, people were very scared about bank runs. Well, don't forget that DeFi can have things that are relatively similar to a bank run. For DeFi, it includes code, oracles, admin keys, liquidity, and front end. For stablecoin, it includes reserves, redemption, issuers, control, regulation, and on-chain, and the chain it runs on. And I'm getting distracted because I want to talk about how, again, when the United States government, which a lot of times in the world is kind of, sets a lot of the standards, decided to look at crypto and regulation, I can't drive home enough that they went straight for stable coins. If you've been around the show a little bit, you should probably know why that is. But issuer controls, controlling who issues the stable coins, and not to mention the people who are issuing stable coins that are not in the club, they're stepping on some big toes. So they're laying the groundwork to hold people responsible, in my opinion. You're either in the club or you're not. For GameFi, it includes gameplay, tokenomics, asset rights, bot protection, and developer transparency. The big takeaway here is if you cannot identify what you're trusting, you're probably not understanding what the risk is here. And that's a good way to say it. You know how a lot of times we'll say things like, you'll hear people say, don't invest more money than you can lose. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't tell you what to do with your money, but it's a common saying. Another thing you could say, right, is don't buy things that you have no idea how they work. Because when we say what you're trusting, you're trusting something to work. And if you don't know what that thing is that you're relying on, why would you put money in it? Just food for thought, right? You do what you want with your money. You could go, throw it in the fireplace. You could open your window, throw it out the window. You do whatever you want with your money. All right. So here's a trust map, right? In custody, we would ask ourselves, who controls the keys? I think this right here is worth more than people probably realize. In custody, who controls the keys? And in exchange, can the platform secure and honor withdrawals? Talking about solvency at that part. Smart contracts, can the code, oracle, or admin controls fail? Almost always yes, they can in some way, shape, or form. Stablecoins, what is it backed by? And who controls the issuing of the stablecoin? Bridges, which is where the most money has been lost in crypto. I think it's probably more than hacks. I really should double, triple, quadruple check that for as much as I say it. But as far as I know, bridges is where the most money has been lost. And some of them being hacks and exploits for sure. So they go hand in hand, right? What secures the cross-chain transfer? Because that's where a lot of them have been. It's been admin keys. Not super sophisticated hacking of code. It's been getting access to admin keys with a bridge, a lot of times through phishing. Phishing, very different from hacking, right? Phishing is where you get somebody to give you the information by tricking them, right? Hacking is like taking it by force where they never had a chance, whether they wanted to or not, whether they were smart or not, right? And so bridges is one to really know what you're trusting. GameFi, is the economy sustainable and fair? This is one that would be really hard. You'd really have to just mess with it and watch it play out in real time. And influencers and projects, right? Are their incentive transparent? And I tell you guys all the time, I pride myself on my transparency. I don't sit up here every day and try to show you something constantly, although, that would be good for my pocket. It's more about raising that crypto IQ and having a wonderful community to share things with. Custody risk is about control. Tuesday's lesson was simple. Buying crypto and controlling crypto are not always the same thing. If an exchange controls the private keys, not your crypto, right? You may have an account balance, but that doesn't mean you still have any money. The FTX collapse showed why custody risk matters. I wonder how many people can log in to FTX to this day. And I don't even know if you can log in, but I wonder if you can and just see the crypto that's supposed to be there. Routers reported that the exchange was ordered to pay $12.7 billion to customers for misappropriating funds in the customer deposits, right? And this was before they filed insolvency, right? Self-custody gives more direct control, but it also creates personal responsibility, right? If you had, direct control, then you would not have to worry about the centralized exchange going down. And I just want to take 2 seconds, hate him or love him. BitBoy got a lot of people to pull their money off of FTX right before it crashed, right? I hate when I click buttons. It's gonna drive me mad. No, stop writing whatever you're writing. Okay, lose the seed phrase, sign the wrong transaction, or get phished, and the outcome can be permanent. The takeaway here is custody is the first trust decision because it's the one question, who can move the funds? And just know, if it's a centralized exchange, not your keys, not your crypto, it's for trading, it's for maybe buying something and then you move it off, in my opinion. How's this chat doing? Yeah, famous, do your own research. Exactly. I didn't realize I was backed up on the chat. That would be awesome to do a stream on Blockworks. Yeah, it really would be. Smart contract risk, right? We're just kind of rolling back through the series here, is about code and dependency. Wednesday lesson is that smart contracts are powerful, but they're not magic. They can hold funds, automate rules, and remove some middlemen. But they can also give bugs, admin control, oracle, dependencies, upgrade risk, and front-end risk. When we're talking about smart contracts and you hear about this upgrade risk, you're probably like, what the heck is an upgrade risk? Some smart contracts are immutable, meaning they're put out and that's what they are. You can't change them. Other ones have functions within the smart contract where you can upgrade them or basically change them. I don't know if it's always an upgrade. Sometimes it's probably a downgrade, but you get the point. They have the ability to be changed so that you could upgrade them. And Ethereum warns that audit should not be treated as an end-all be-all stamp of approval, right? And this goes for, it's not just Ethereum, it's anything. Audits don't mean things are safe. You'll see a lot of websites of crypto, they'll show their stamp of audit. It's better than nothing, I guess, but it almost means nothing to me. A better interpretation is risk was reviewed, not removed, right? And what's the difference nowadays? You know, if a company audited the code, I'm like, who cares? Did AI audit the code? Did something that can move extremely swift and fast, and it's probably more diligent in understanding code than a person. You probably scan a lot more code a lot more efficiently. You get somebody who started auditing code and then they got tired halfway through the day and they just missed a ginormous exploit. Smart contract risk is not just one line of code, it's a whole system around that code. Stablecoins. Risk is about backing, redemption, and control. This was Thursday's lesson about how stablecoins are useful, but they do not mean risk-free. They mean stable. And they're not even always that. Ask Luna Classic. A stable coin depends on trust in the issuer, reserves, redemption process, right? Redeeming your money, banking relationships, chain infrastructure, and sometimes regulatory controls. Routers reported that Tether said it had froze about $4.2 billion worth of USDT due to illicit activity, showing that major stablecoins can include centralized freeze controls. Kind of gives you a little bit of like CBDC vibe, right? That can be viewed as helpful for compliance and crime prevention. Is why a lot of times I say like probably 99% of the time them freezing funds is a super positive thing in the world. But there's that small percent that you somehow were interacting with a wallet you shouldn't have been, right? But it also means users need to understand that stablecoins are not censorship resistance. They're not about the ethos of Bitcoin and decentralization, right? We're going to skip the GameFi risk, right? Scam exploits the human layer. Crypto has technical risk, but it also has human risk. Phishing links, fake support accounts, impersonation scams, AI-generated deep fakes, which I haven't heard about a lot lately, but I don't think they've stopped. Fake airdrops, fake investment opportunities, romance scams. I know people personally who've gotten hit with those romance scams. Those are wild. Chain Analysis estimated that $17 billion was stolen in crypto scams and frauds in 2025. The impersonating scams growing by 1,400% year over year, and AI-enabled scams becoming 4.5 times more profitable than traditional scams. And you're just in an industry where less people know what the heck is going on. They know less what is real and what is not real. So it's easier to get your money. Prime Minister says BTC and many cryptos these days have freeze functions. Exactly. Chain rollbacks too. They can reset the whole chain if the validators consensus agree. Exactly. You fix something and a bunch of other things are problems. Like we fixed centralization with decentralization, and now we have a bunch of other problems. And we have centralization somewhere in the middle as well. It's a sliding scale, right? And this means that the trust problem is not only about protocols, it's also about people. Even if the blockchain works perfectly, users can still be tricked out of their money. You keep seeing all of these different articles about Bitcoin ATMs. And I'm sorry, there's nothing, I don't know why I say I'm sorry. It's like a figure of speech. I'm not sorry. Getting tricked out of your money is getting tricked out of your money is getting tricked out of your money. It doesn't matter if they sent you to a Bitcoin wallet ATM to use your Bitcoin wallet to send them money, or if they got you to give them banking information. What's the difference? Your money was there and now it's gone. That's the difference, right? Doesn't matter if they had a deep fake and pretended to be your grandchild who was kidnapped, right? Like they do crazy stuff. But that still doesn't mean that it's really any different than the nature of any other scam at any other time in human history. I'm so sick of seeing the whole Bitcoin ATM FUD. It's stupid. You get tricked out of your money, you get tricked out of your money. The real crypto IQ skill is knowing what to verify. The final lesson, don't trust, verify. Sounds simple? Verification needs a target. You got to verify custody, contract risk, reserves, permission, tokenomics, incentives, who can upgrade, what yields make the most sense, whether the economy can survive, and whether the person promoting something benefits from you buying it. The smartest crypto users are not fearless, they're careful. They know what questions to ask before trusting the system. Very, very, very few people do their due diligence in this aspect. And to be honest, sometimes, like who controls upgrades, sometimes information can be very hard to get, especially with like new crypto projects. And the final takeaway, of course, is trustless doesn't mean riskless. That's what we're trying to go at. I don't want to go too long-winded here on a Saturday night. I hope everybody is doing well, enjoying the stream. I know I am. Know that the increase will come, and we'll have a bigger community as crypto becomes more exciting to the masses again. And, you know, when the masses run back in, we're going to be here waiting for them, or I sure will. And they're going to need some education. And there will be people who understand the value of educating themselves in a space. And I guess those will be our community members. Because most investors only care about the profits. They do not think about learning the tech they are investing in. Exactly. And that is why scammers can take your lunch so easily, is because most people, they just don't even know what they're talking about, right? Or what they're buying. I don't want to say what they're talking about, but a lot of people, they don't really know what they're buying. Figure out what the heck my wife is doing. All right, so where was I going? Very distracting. I guess we're just messing with chainers. I guess that was all I had to say. I feel like I was going somewhere and then I got distracted. Why is this game freezing? But again, it's Saturday night, hour and 12 stream. We're going to keep it short, simple, and sweet. We'll do some chainers real quick, and then I'm probably going to wrap it up, say goodbye. No stream tomorrow night, and then we start all over again on Monday. Got to get our free item from the Dreams game here. It looks like they're getting ready to launch this other game that they have. Some kind of dinosaur game. I don't exactly know what all that's going to entail, but they've spent quite a bit of time launching it. So I hope it's a little bit more in depth and detailed than, say, this game. I mean, this game's fine. Just point and click. Sometimes I have done too much stuff to really think about anything, and point and click is about all I can do. But we'll see what the other game is. There also was a new game through the Axie Infinity franchise. I post about it in the GameFi tab in the Discord. Free Discord in the link in the chat, also in the description. Come on over, check it out. It's where you can hang out with us when we are not live streaming. It's got to get to 1,000 points here. I wish they would come out a little faster. Where is everybody at? This is kind of just a moment for anybody. If you guys want to say anything or ask any questions, anybody got any thoughts before we wrap up this series of the week? And remember, a series of the week really hits when you saw more than one show, right? When you saw a few shows, then the series makes a lot more sense. So I encourage you to come back, get that compounding interest effect of raising your crypto IQ. Day after day, week after week, month after month, you might know more than 99% of people in crypto. I don't think it takes a lot, considering I think only maybe 5% of people in the world even know anything, even know of crypto, at all. It's kind of crazy. When you live in crypto all the time, you think, surely people know a little bit about it. People do not know it even exists, especially the older of a generation you talk to, which can come with advantages. It can be the reason why retail's not running in to buy stuff. And sometimes as a, an asset class, you got to remember we shot ourselves in the foot, metaphorically speaking, when we did all the meme coins and nonsense. The more serious older people find it, they're not following that. They don't care about that. They don't take that seriously. And I think that hurt us a little bit in some of these markets. But a lot of it was just people grabbing money. Anyways, I hit my 1,000. Let's let them take us out, see what we get for the farm and in this stream. Yeah, it says, Prime Minister says, you're right, bro. We still very niche and early. Exactly. And it's good to be early. But if you're that early, just educate yourself as much as possible is my philosophy, because that could become very, very useful as the masses try to run in. If you think that the bull runs we've had before with the masses running in is the end of it, I highly think that it's not. I think that we will have times in the upcoming years, whether it's 2 years, 4 years, 10 years, whatever, where the masses are going to come running in. Who's positioning themselves? I'm positioning myself both by owning and also educating, and of course being on YouTube, being an educator. Never financial advice. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, guys. Thanks for coming to the stream. Thanks for being a part of the Underground Crypto community, being an undergrounder, as I like to say. And stay underground, stay crypto. Think long term. I'll catch you in the next one. Monday will be a new series.